Week one of the NFL season is here, and it's time for us to put our names on the line, making predictions for the 2025 season. Division winners, Super Bowl champ, MVPs, rookies, and all of that for this season. Who's going to come out on top on today's Peacock and Williamson?
NFL analyst Brian Peacock and former NFL scout Matt Williamson bring you expert NFL analysis every day in less than 30 minutes. Get an inside look at the NFL on the field and in the front office with elite breakdowns to next-level analysis and in-depth information only for the real NFL fans. This is Peacock and Williamson, and it starts now.
Welcome to the Peacock and Williamson NFL Show. Brian Peacock alongside Matt Williamson. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and we're now here. Labor Day is in the books. Actually, it's currently Labor Day as we are recording this. A lot of people not working. Matt and I decided to do a little podcast, right, and do some predictions for the 2025 season today for you as we start this week one of a long journey of a 2025 NFL season. So thanks for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed up on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. And today's episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. All right, we got divisions. We've got playoff scenarios. Got some sleeper teams, some sleeper players for a lot of different awards, Matt. So I guess we got to get into the divisions and predict how this thing is going to go. We'll start in the AFC, then the NFC will go east to west. And that brings us to the AFC East to kick things off. How do you see this division going down in 2025?
So this is it's a fun show. It's a prediction show. You know, we got a couple of days till the regular season, and our first category is honestly like the most boring of them all. Because of all the divisions, this is the one I feel most strongly about picking the winner. And of course, it's the Buffalo Bills. I just think they're light years ahead of the other three teams. And when we get to it, I'm not real certain that anyone else is going to be even in the dance when it's all said and done out of the East.
Well, and they weren't last year. And I know things change a lot year to year. And I think there's some teams and some divisions. You can paint some pictures and some dark horse teams out there. But like nobody even was above 500 last year in the division. And I could see the Dolphins having a really good year. I could see them having an even worse year than they had last year. I think you could say the same thing about the New York Jets. I think you could say the same thing about the New England Patriots, and you can paint a picture of the Patriots being a real good team at some point in the near future. But knocking off the 13-4 Buffalo Bills from last year, it's just really hard to go out there and predict anything else in the East.
I 100% agree. I mean, unless, when we could say this about so many teams, your star stud quarterback were to miss a long stretch, and I mean more than like a month. I mean, if it's a month of Trubisky or whomever, I still think they win the division.
And so let's say Josh Allen gets hurt. He's gone all year long, right? And the Bills end up having a bad season for whatever reason. Maybe if it's not even Allen, maybe it's something else. What would be the team? Would it be the Patriots for you? Because I know you're a big fan of Drake May. Is that the one team where you'd be like, okay, they arrive so fast?
I don't know. A healthy Dolphins team to me is still kind of flashy, kind of dangerous, especially in good weather. Tua is a good player. You know, I mean, I think we overlook that. They have some weaknesses. I mean, their corners are bad and things like that. But I don't think the Patriots are a complete roster. I would probably lean towards Miami, but definitely not the Jets.
So we're not even like trying to paint that picture. We're putting all the utensils away. There's no pencils. There's no shading. There's no paint, right? We're not Bob Ross when it comes to the New York Jets. They've got some, new coaching staff.
Yeah, new quarterback.
They got some pieces on both sides of the ball. No shot, huh?
Yeah, and that's the Steelers' first opponent. They're going to New York. Rodgers versus Fields, the reciprocal. You know, they were both the starters for the other team last year. And I have been saying, I kind of joking, I think the Jets might run the ball like a service academy this year. And I think that their defensive-minded head coach could get a lot out of the Williams brothers and Sauce, and they have some first-round edge dudes, and they play low-scoring, tough games. And if you look at their O-line, it's littered with early picks. You know, I mean, I just don't think – I don't know how far that's going to get you, you know. And I just think the passing game is going to be a huge problem.
All right, we both got the Bills in the AFC East. How about the AFC North, the most intimate knowledge for you of any division in the NFL? The Aaron Rodgers-led Jets Didn't do it last year. So what's different about the Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers? Can they knock off the Ravens at the top of the North?
Well, the Steelers always win more games than they lose, and the Jets always lose more games than they win. So there's a little bit of difference in terms of the franchises as a whole.
Yeah.
I still think Baltimore's really, really good, though. I mean, they're one of the teams you could look at and say, I could actually paint a picture that's quite believable that that's the best defense in the league. And I can paint a picture that's believable that's the best offense in the league. You know?
Yeah, it's really hard not to pick the Ravens there as well, even though, get Trey Hendrickson back now. Can the Cincinnati Bengals, new defensive coordinator, do they have enough on that side of the ball that they can maybe win some of these games and don't have to score 40 points every single week? Because they can't put up 40 points every single week.
That part I'm assured of, but I have a lot of doubts about Cincinnati top to bottom.
And Cleveland is in the same bucket as the Jets and probably even below. I would put them.
I think they're the worst team in the AFC.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
I think the division winners of the first three divisions here, the AFC South, it's really hard for me to go in any other direction than the Houston Texans. And in fact, I even like the Texans more than I liked them last year.
I do too. I mean, this O-line stuff is worrisome, but sometimes you just say they're in the building, they're professionals. I'm going to defer that they think this is a good move O-line wise because the rest of the team's really, really good.
Could Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans have a Jaden Daniels Washington Commanders-like season?
It's so easy to say no because it seems like such a long shot, but going back to the Texans, that's 2 years in a row where a team in a very similar situation has, and I love that the league has those doors open. I don't see it. I'm not going to pick Tennessee to go to the playoffs.
The Daniel Jones-led Indianapolis Colts or the Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars for you to be the biggest competition for the Houston Texans here?
Jags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Healthy Trevor Lawrence. You're still a Trevor Lawrence believer?
Change. Yeah, coaching change. 2 big-time receivers. Good enough on D.
Oh, we're already calling a guy that might play defense a big-time receiver.
Oh, I'm calling Hunter a big-time receiver.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We might see that name pop up a little bit later.
Okay. All right.
So we
I don't want to give too much away in this first segment,
Yeah, exactly. You said a lot right there, I think. So we got Bills, Ravens, Texans. Both of us do. Unanimous there. How about the AFC West? The Kansas City Chiefs won 15 stinking games last year, Matt. It's just a powerhouse division of coaches. You add Pete Carroll to the mix with the Las Vegas Raiders to go with Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh. It's going to be a lot of fun in the West, but can anybody knock off those Kansas City Chiefs?
Certainly not a slam dunk as it usually is, but I don't know. Reed and Mahomes just don't lose division games, and that's a pretty good start to me.
I like Mahomes to be better. I like Mahomes talking about how aggressive he's going to be too this year. Like this, we showed the graph a few weeks ago of the yards per attempt for Patrick Mahomes every season. You can't get lower. So
I know, right?
We've got to give here.
Again, I'm trying not to give too much away in the first segment, so I'm just kind of.
I hear you.
Slow playing some things. I don't want to pull the curtains back quite yet.
This feels like the division that could potentially give you the most wild card teams as well, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely the best division. Well, yeah, it's a better division than the North because the Browns are so weak. But those two teams both, to me, have 6 teams fighting for division spots. I'm not there yet on the Raiders. Still, I'd take the Raiders over the Browns. I kind of bought in, and this is kind of Pete Carroll talked at a podium one time in camp, and he got me buying in. I imagine he has players bought in even harder that he talks to every single day. He's talking about we're going to win football games. I don't care who hears it. I win 10 games in this league every single year. We're not going to be bad. He's quite good at his job.
So double-digit wins all around for every team. It's always tough to do. And I think the Broncos, obviously really good defense, second year for Bo Nix. I like the direction that things are going for Jim Harbaugh's Los Angeles Chargers. They were an 11-win team already last year. So got to have some wild card teams potentially coming out. And I'd probably put both the Chargers and the Broncos in there right now in the playoffs.
So I didn't know this just till recently, but since the league has gone to 7 playoff teams in each conference, people are like, boy, it's hard for 3 teams in a division to go. Every year, a division has had 3 teams.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard at all, especially
Right.
when
If you're good.
team. We're already eliminating 3 or 4 teams before things even start here.
Right. There's only 16 teams in the conference, and you're looking at like the Jets and Browns and Titans, and you can just scratch them off. It doesn't leave as many as you think,
Man, with those superstar quarterbacks in the AFC too, I feel like the NFC's that division. We saw it with the Commanders last year. That team that we leave for dead before it even starts, that does a lot. Could that team exist in the NFC more so than the AFC again this year? So we got to predict the Super Bowl champions. We got to predict the division winners in the NFC. We've got a individual award as well, defensive player of the year, MVP, coach of the year, and a whole lot more coming up next. This episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by Gametime. Love me the Gametime app. It's in my pocket. It's always ready to go. If you are a sports fan and you ever think about buying tickets to a sporting event, you ever want to go to a concert or a comedy show, you got to have Gametime downloaded and ready to go. So go do it right now and use our code for $20 off. More on that later. And with the NFL season back, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, prices jumping at checkout. It's frustrating. That's why I use Gametime. The app gives you the advantage, and it brings that advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, backed by the Gametime guarantee. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included. So the price you see is the price you pay. Views from your seat, and the best part, get some phenomenal deals on last-minute tickets for sporting events, concerts, and whatever kind of a ticket you are looking for. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. And with that NFL season being back, week 1, I'm super pumped for it. I just love hearing the crowd roar, watching some college games this weekend. You can find tons of ways to play along at FanDuel. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer right now. It's the best offer, not only of the year, but I've ever seen, I think, from FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your first bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app to bet on weekly lines. There's tons of 2025 season props for NFL, college. There's any number of ways to play. You can bet live, jump in as the action is live and unfolds. If you see something changing and the tide's changing into the fourth quarter of a football game. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That is FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, here we go. Let's get into the NFC and pick these division winners. I am somewhat fascinated, and it got even more interesting in the NFC East, Matt, with this Micah Parsons trade. I think it hurts the Dallas Cowboys quite a bit on the football field. There's a number of statistics that shows how much better they are when Micah Parsons is on the field versus when he is not. I do like, Ezra Raku, and I like some other players that the Dallas Cowboys have that could potentially still get after the quarterback a little bit. They added another wide receiver for Dak Prescott. I like Dak Prescott in my fantasy leagues for sure right now. Might be throwing the ball more than he was before, but I can't envision a team that's more likely now than they were last week to go knock off the Philadelphia Eagles at the top of that division. And the Washington Commanders came on so strong last year. What's the follow-up for Jaden Daniels? They got better. The Washington Commanders, they were a 12-win team last year. And Matt, can I paint a picture for you about the dark horse team this year being potentially the New York Giants?
Sort of, until you actually pull their schedule up, though. I mean, I did this on a different podcast where, man, we were picking like over-under win totals. I'm like, man, the Giants could be so much better than they were. And then I had read a nugget that they're only favored in one game so far this year when they play the Saints. I mean, every other game is just so horrible for them. So I think they'll be better, but it won't reflect it. This Micah Parsons, well, just pull back curtain. I was strongly considering putting Dallas in the playoffs, not to win the Super Bowl or win the division, but now they're out of that mix. I'm going to have the Eagles win this conference, win this division.
These are human beings, and it kind of goes along with what I was saying about Pete Carroll. And he had me believing, right? Getting his players to run through a wall. I think, Jim Harbaugh is really good at that as well. And you look at the Dallas Cowboys, and how deflating is it to lose your best football player a week before the season starts? So I think that's another part of it. Just if this was Madden and they were robots, but they're not, they're human beings. So that has to be very deflating for that football team right now. I like the New York Giants to shock the world and be a competitive football team. I'm taking the over on their win total. And part of it is because I've been very impressed, and I wasn't super high on Jackson Dart coming into the draft.
I know. Me neither.
He's looked really good. He's
really
got
good.
that. There's something you need to see it at the NFL level. You know, it's RPO heavy, the call to scheme. You never know. He's a good athlete, had a good arm, but it wasn't like, oh man, he's got this amazing arm and he's a crazy athlete and he's a can't miss, phenomenal physical talent. And he was good. And then across the board, similar to maybe, Bo Nix last year. And then you see him in the preseason. It's like the synapses are firing in his brain. And I'm like,
he belongs.
Yeah. And maybe, he missed his first read, but then he made a play and found his second read, got out on the move, ball came out quick. His head's up, his eyes are up. It didn't look too big for him. I thought that was impressive. And they might have the best front four on third downs.
One of the best for sure. Yeah.
So if you hit on that quarterback and you have that kind of a front, that's a good recipe to win some games and certainly be a lot better than the 3-14 team we saw last year.
You're not implying that they're this year's Texans or Commanders from the past 2 seasons, though, right? Or
all
are you?
Is we weren't picking the Commanders this time last year.
Oh,
so
I know.
Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on the Giants being that team. There's always a shocker team. Right now, if I had to bet on a team that's like everyone's piling on, bad schedule, I'll say the Giants are that team that's like, okay, you put a little money down with a big return potentially if they are really good.
And you spelled out a ton of different things with them, but even if they just get noticeably better quarterback play, which they almost have to, even if it was Winston, who's not going to play, is noticeably better than what they played with.
Right. Yeah. So my sleeper pick to not like go win a Super Bowl or anything crazy, but to flirt maybe even with double-digit wins and be in the mix later in the season than I think a lot of people think.
I love it. I mean, I would really hate for them to be better, win 4 games, everyone gets fired, the new guy doesn't like Dart, and it's just a mess,
Could absolutely go that way.
And it could go that way too, yeah.
NFC North, runaway favorite, the Packers for me now. They're an 11-win team. Their quarterback was hurt last year, and they just added the best difference-making player you could on the defensive side of the ball in Micah Parsons. Give me the Green Bay Packers all day. I think the Lions are worse. First-year starter at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. First-year NFL head coach for the Chicago Bears, even though I do like the Chicago Bears, but I've been excited about a lot of Chicago Bears teams, and they're always bad.
I know. Me too. If we had done this last week, I would have picked the Packers and thought it was slightly controversial because I do think it's the best division in the league. But now I'm definitely taking the Packers.
Just saw Micah Parsons this morning, by the way, at practice, obliterating a sled, wearing the single digit number 1 for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, that's cool.
It was like,
yeah, he's going to be pretty good.
He's going to be pretty good. I like a lot of teams. I like every team in this division. I could paint that picture.
I do too. I don't trust the Bears yet, though. To your point.
Yeah, not quite. There's always we just talked about it. There's something's going to surprise the heck out of everybody that happens this year. What if the Bears are first in the North and the Lions are last? Like that is possible. Lions were a 15-win team last year. They lost both coordinators. They lost one of their most important pieces on offense, the center, Frank Ragnow. It could be a rocky road.
Yeah, and Hutchinson misses time again. All of a sudden, there's no pass rush.
Yeah,
new coordinators can't figure it out. I don't think that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
And I love J.J. McCarthy, and the Vikings are just well coached and a good football team, and I think they'll just be right there again. That same really competitive, good team. They might be better and actually win fewer games than the 14 they won last year.
I can see that too. I think they're really well coached on both sides of the ball. Really enforced both lines of scrimmage too.
All right, so we're unanimous on the Packers. We're unanimous on, I don't think I even said, but I still have to pick the Philadelphia Eagles.
I assume so, yeah.
NFC South, is this one easy for you to repeat for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I think really the only logical team that, you could say, the Carolina Panthers would be a little better. Saints, everyone unanimously thinks to be the worst team in the NFL. So it's basically Falcons and Bucks here, right?
Agreed, and I'm just not there on the Falcons. I think the Bucks are getting to be one of those teams you just trust, even without Wirfs, even without Godwin to start the season, which is a bad place to start. I think they'll be okay,
And then you say, oh, well, the Falcons going to be better at Michael Penix. What if he hits? Well, it's like, well, Baker Mayfield's already really good. And they added a piece, Emeka Egbuka, that has looked awesome so far in the preseason for the Seattle. So they might be better on offense too. And you get Chris Godwin back. I mean, even if you're better on offense for the Falcons, are you as good as the Bucs?
Probably not. Yeah.
The hardest division in the NFL for me is the West.
I took the Rams, but this Stafford back thing really scares me. But I trust McVay. I think if he's healthy, they would have been not an easy choice, but a consensus choice, give or take. But I think you can kind of make a case for all three teams. I almost considered Seattle.
You can absolutely make the case for all four teams in the NFC. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Any order, literally any order in this division would not shock me in the slightest. I think it's the most evenly matched division in the NFL. The 49ers were the last place team last year. They could be the first place team, but they're going to start a lot of young players on defense. They could be the last place team again and have some growing pains. The Rams, if you could tell me right now, Stafford is going to be 100% healthy all year, I think you got to pick the Rams. So I think they're better than even they were last year. And if you don't count the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year, where it's like, oh man, they're bad and they're going to have a fire sale without Aaron Donald. And, is McVay's heart even in it? And, they're trying to get rid of Matthew Stafford. Are they going to, and then they went and won the division. So that second half team for a full year, that could be pretty darn good. Stafford, I'm picking them last.
Yes. So, I mean, it's definitely the throw 4 names in the hat, shake them up division of the most. I mean, I think Seattle's D might be the best in the league. And if they can just be a little better on offense, they get to 10 or 11 wins and squeak out the division,
Even if you think that Sam Darnold isn't as good as Geno Smith, their offensive line's better. And their running backs are healthy right now to start the year. And their defense could be a lot better than it was last year. And I think that side of the ball will be coached well. I still have some questions about how it's going to look exactly on offense, but you had Cooper Kupp there. I think the Arizona Cardinals are one of the more improved teams in the NFL. They have a lot of pieces now on defense, and I think they're a well-coached team as well. So I like the Cardinals is probably the dark horse team that not a lot of people are picking.
Okay. I mean, I could see it. So maybe what we should do is, go to one of these betting sites and just be like, pick the longest shot in the West.
Right. So exactly. Right. And so if I'm picking against what the win totals are and against what the general consensus is, I'd probably put a lot of money on teams like the Cardinals, maybe even the New York Giants. And I think even the Texans. I think I have it
because the payoff's great. All right.
Should we move on to the AFC and NFC champions here, Matt?
Let's do our wild cards real quick.
Okay. Who's your wild cards in the AFC?
My AFC wild cards are Broncos, which I think will be a really strong 5 seed. Like the best wild card team in the conference. Could go somewhere and win a game or two. Steelers, Chargers. Not super exciting.
I've got the exact same, except for I've got the Bengals instead of the Steelers.
Okay. I still don't trust the Bengals defense, and I just think they're a volatile build. So I kept them out on purpose. I
don't trust the Steelers to be better than a 10-win team. Can somebody just be better than the last team in the AFC? You know what I mean?
I hear you're saying.
That's kind of where I'm at. And even the Cincinnati Bengals were still 9-8 last year.
Oh, I know. And they finished strong and Yeah. How about NFC wildcard teams?
We got a break here. Let's go NFC wildcard teams next. Super Bowl champion and some individual awards and finish up this predictions episode for 2025. This episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. A lot of fantasy drafts still to be had before the season starts. It's this week. We are here. You can feel the buzz. Fantasy football season is upon us. Everyone's researching, drafting, building their championship squads. So if you haven't joined the league yet, now's the time, and it's all happening on Yahoo Fantasy. I'm playing Yahoo Fantasy this year like I have for, I think, 20 years. I know Matt is, and you can too, whether you are a first-timer or a veteran creating your millionth league with season kickoff this Thursday, September 4th. Now's the time. It's your last chance, Yahoo Fantasy Football, to get in before the season starts. So many fun ways to compete. Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, which is a brand new format. If you want the classics, you can still do that as well. Get your crew together for head-to-head private leagues. And no crew, no problem. Join a public league. The easiest way to play. You can jump in. You don't have to know anybody. You can jump in right now at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL and join a public league. The NFL season kicks off Thursday, September 4th, so don't wait. Start your league now. Draft at yahoofantasy.com/lockedonnfl. That's yahoofantasy.com/lockedonnfl. It's pretty amazing how many folks out there can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table, and that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization on your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. You link all your accounts, immediately you spot which subscriptions maybe you're not even using or even forgot you had. I mean, if you don't even remember all your financial accounts, you probably don't remember all of those subscription services either, which are growing and growing, and canceling those alone can save you a ton of money. And how about budgeting with a partner? So important. You can see it all out there without the stress. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks, and use our code LockedOnNFL at monarchmoney.com in your browser or the app for half off the first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LockedOnNFL. All right, here we go. NFC wildcard teams.
NFC wildcard teams. In order of finish, I have Lions, Vikings, Niners. And there's a lot of candidates, but I think the Niners schedule really is helpful.
Niners have an easy schedule, and I think the 49ers have a chance to be one of the best teams in the NFL in December. And so if they can stay afloat in the first few weeks of the season, the Niners could potentially be scary. Just need a little development from some of those young players on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of similar to what we saw from the 2024 Los Angeles Rams. I think the offense is going to be fine. Then you get Brandon Ayuk back. So Ricky Pearsall, if he's big, up to the challenge, you got a healthy Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. I like the Niners in the second half to come roaring back and be one of those wild card teams that you don't want to face. That maybe is a big road, maybe even a road favorite against some team like the Falcons or the Buccaneers or something like that.
The team you don't want to play in the playoffs.
Yes, right. Exactly. And I'm with you at the North. 3 teams in the North.
Yeah.
And I think right now I almost want to pick the Bears, but I just can't do it yet. I just got to see it. The Bears have burned me before too. I've been all in on the Bears, and no. So Vikings, Packers, Niners. I'm with you, man.
And I'm the first to say my playoff picks are a little chalky. I mean, I know that I'll be wrong. I actually, last minute adjustment, I had the Jags in. I put the Chargers in over them. I thought that was going to be a little controversial, but I'm like, Harbaugh will get the 9 or 10.
Yeah, they'll get in. It's just so hard right now. And I think there's less parity right now than there has been too.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Yeah. Falcons is that team. I think Falcons, Cardinals. And again, I want to start calling them my New York Giants because I've been down on them a lot. Mm-hmm. I was impressed by Jackson Dart, and that's a huge development.
Huge development.
Yeah. And that
do the defense and neighbors.
Here's the things we talk about strength of schedule, but things change so much year to year. Is it really that hard of a schedule? Because some of the teams might end up being bad that we think are good. Some teams are good.
I'm sure they will, but if you just go at game by game, you change your tunes pretty quick. It's really bad.
It's a tough schedule. It is a tough schedule. So who's your AFC, NFC champ, the Super Bowl teams, and your Super Bowl winner, Matt?
So I have Ravens over Packers in the Super Bowl.
I think Ravens Packers is I don't want to call your picks chalky, Matt, but like when I was going through this, I was like, it's hard not to pick the Ravens and the Packers right now. I feel really good about both those teams, but I'm going to take you down a path where the Texans finally hit. And
that'd be interesting.
So I've got the Houston Texans in the Super Bowl, and I do have them against the Green Bay Packers.
I do predict the Bills to have the 1 seed in the AFC, though. So KC or Baltimore or Houston would have to go there to win, which good luck with that in the AFC Championship.
And I think by not picking the Bills, I'm helping out Bills fans because you always want to pick the Bills because it's going to be their year, and then it doesn't happen. I think if nobody picks the Bills because you don't expect it anymore is when they're going to go win it.
Okay. I'm actually kind of rooting for them. If the Steelers don't win the Super Bowl, I kind of want the Bills to because no fan base deserves it more.
Bills knock off the Ravens and they think they have it, and then the Texans come out and beat the Bills in the AFC Championship game. So
or the Chiefs will go again like they do every year.
Well, the Chiefs first. That's right. Which, so let's go to the NFC side of things then. Did we do the NFC champion? Oh, yeah. We did.
I have Packers losing.
I like the Packers right now. It's the dark horse team again. It's like hard because the Eagles are so good. They'll be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as good as they were last year, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would probably pick them to, if that's my championship loser, I probably would take the Eagles, though.
And one of those teams in the West, too, the battle-tested team that comes out of the West, whether it's the 49ers, if they are as strong as I think maybe at the end of the year, or the Rams play a whole season like they did after week 5 last year, those could be really good football teams. And the Rams were close last year already, and they're better this year.
That'd be like the 20th game Stafford played, though.
That's true.
He's like,
don't miss game 20, miss game 11 and 12. And
he's limping to game 1, and we need him to play like 20 of them.
Okay, so I painted the picture of the Texans. So my dark horse MVP is CJ Stroud.
I can absolutely see it.
CJ Stroud, the offensive line's better. The defense is really good. CJ Stroud takes the step that we thought he was going to take last year. He kind of plateaued year 2. Then he takes the jump year 3 instead of the year 2 jump. So I've got CJ Stroud, and I've got the Jaden Daniels plateau in years.
Okay. I took Mahomes. Just kind of, I've mentioned this a few times. Like, everyone thinks Lamar's gaining on him, and so is Allen, and they are. And I just think that average depth of target's going to go up, and they actually have protection. They have protection now, and they got deep threats, and Rashee Rice is only out 6 games. I can weather that storm. I think Mahomes kind of gives the finger to the rest of the league and goes bonkers.
I have on my sheet here, I have Mahomes crossed out, and I put Stroud because I was like, I'm not going to go Mahomes. I think Mahomes is going to have a big year, though. I think he is. So I just didn't want to put the Chiefs all over everywhere in Mahomes. They've had enough. Get out of here. They won the West for me. I didn't want to put any other Chiefs stuff in there, but
I have those 2 things: winning the West and MVP, but not running through the playoffs. I think you're like my defensive player of the year.
Oh, who you got? Will
Anderson from your Houston Texans.
There you go. There it is.
Yep.
I like the Texans, man. It's lining up for the Texans. I think people can start talking about Stroud like they already talk about Burrow, and it being like, instead of like, oh, there's the 4 best quarterbacks in the NFL, it's like, oh, there's the 5. Is there a 6? Is there, that tier 1 kind of growing and really creating some big time. I'm just such a believer in Stroud. I think he's really smart. It was a weird year last year. They're going to be better. Nick Caley is probably the most important guy on my sheet right now, the offensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator of the Houston Texans. He comes from that McVay Rams offense. Is he another one of those superstars coming from the Rams coaching?
Possibility. I mean, to me, that's the pivotal part of the Texans, if they can be in this conversation as strongly as we're representing them.
Or was it never the offensive coordinator's fault all along anyway?
And, right. And you still got to beat Allen, Mahomes, and Jackson.
Gosh, it's tough in the AFC, man. It's tough not to pick the team in the AFC to win Super Bowl that comes out of that juggernaut too, although they didn't do it last year.
Sure.
Defensive player of the year, Micah Parsons. Angry Micah Parsons.
He has to be the leader in the clubhouse in terms.
Is he not angry because he got paid?
Oh, I think he's happy as could be.
Yeah,
but comfortable.
He's like dapping guys up, hugging guys on the field instead of killing quarterbacks. I bet. What is it? Week 4 against the Cowboys. It's gonna be a fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's gonna be a fun one.
Offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year, Matt.
Okay, so I thought there were so many candidates on the offensive side of the ball, and I settled on Genty. I wanted to give the Raiders some love. I think he's going to get a ton of touches. I do think he's A+ talent. On the defensive side of the ball, I saw so few candidates, and I went with Jahad Campbell with the Eagles. I think he's going to be the starter. I think he's a perfect fit. He never should have lasted that long. All the training camp stuff I'm hearing is awesome about him. So linebacker could make a lot of plays, have some sacks,
because he can get after the quarterback too. Yeah. Good
stuff.
I've got offensive rookie of the year, Travion Henderson, going a little dark horse.
Good one.
This one. He's just, I liked him more than a lot of people in the draft.
I just took him pretty high in my fantasy draft 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard not to pick the 2 first-round running backs, but I'm going to just, I'm going to put those guys aside because they're going to have higher odds to win for a reason. And my defensive rookie of the year, I'm going to shake things up here. I'm going to put Travis Hunter because he's going to make big enough plays to where he's going to get votes, right? And so even though he might get, offensive touchdowns will help him in the defensive player of the year voting, rookie of the year voting, even though he's not going to play enough on offense to win offensive rookie of the year. There we go.
I'm sure Abdul Carter's the leader in the clubhouse in terms of odds.
I mean, yeah, it's hard not to say Genty and Carter. I just wanted to pick some different names.
And I think Ward has a real shot too.
Coach of the year. We're running out of time here. Who's your coach of the year this year? I painted a picture for
I didn't do one.
let me name a couple of names for you because I painted the picture for the Houston Texans here. So I'm going to say D'Amico Ryans.
That'd be good.
He shouldn't be a dark horse, but he is. And I think McVay too, with the Rams and the way they've played. And you get one more big time year out of Matthew Stafford.
That would go a long way if they could get to where they needed to be, with even like overcoming 3 or 4 weeks without Stafford. I'm going to piggyback off of you though, actually.
Okay.
Brian Daboll.
Oh,
the garbage to average guy. That always wins.
He could be coach of the year or be fired by week 7.
Yep.
I have no idea.
He could be, right.
But if he found his quarterback and he developed that quarterback quickly,
they win some games that they're dogs in, get the 7 wins, and from garbage to average wins you coach of the year a lot.
Get some high profile wins.
Right. Win a couple games you shouldn't
against the Commanders, the Cowboys. Like those are primetime games, man. So,
what if you beat those two teams? Right. There you go. I like your Giants love, so I'm going to give it to him.
Kind of offensive player of the year, I really, really like Justin Jefferson this year. To remind everybody, it's not Jamar Chase then me, and I think it's going to be all him in that offense early in the year too.
I could absolutely see that. And another one I would strongly consider is Nico Collins. Back to the Texans love, right? Yeah. He's going to be the clear number 1 there.
Which is why I like Stroud so much because there's so many weapons, and they added big time rookies to the mix as well. They have a talented football team that's a much better throwing team than a running team, and improved offensive line. I think I'm most bullish on the Houston Texans this year. I think that's what I've learned about myself when I put this list together.
Texans Giants Super Bowl for BP.
I will not put money on that. Well, I guess I could make a nice little payout on that one. Maybe it's
that would pay off real well.
Go check out FanDuel. All right, thanks everybody. Let us know who are your picks, and especially those dark horse picks. Let us know at BD Peacock, at Williamson NFL. Get your questions in for this week's Week 1 mailbag. And, of course, you can drop us a line on YouTube. Subscribe while you're there. Matt and I back tomorrow right here. Peacock and Williamson.